Canadians are not being fooled by this Prime Minister or that Deputy Prime Minister. They know the carbon tax is making their lives more unaffordable. Last week, the Parliamentary Budget Officer confirmed that a secret government report shows that the carbon tax costs Canadians more than they get back. The Prime Minister has forced the PBO to sign a gag order so that he can't share that report. Canadians deserve the truth. When will this government come clean with Canadians and release the report?
Exactly. The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, the people who are not going to be able to fool Canadians for very much longer are these Conservatives. For days and days, for weeks and weeks, they have been dithering and deflecting and evading when it comes to our proposed measures on capital gains. Tomorrow, they're going to have to take a stand. So I invite the member opposite to lead the way by lifting her own personal gag order and saying what she believes.
Bravo. I'm going to ask members again, who've been really pretty good today, is to please just not take the floor until they are recognized by the chair. I'm certain we all want to hear the question from the honourable member. The honourable member from Carleton Trail, Eagle Creek.
Well, the fact of the matter is, Mr. Speaker, Canadians know that after 9 years, this Prime Minister is just not worth the cost or the corruption. He is desperate to cover up his own secret report, which shows that Canadians are worse off under his carbon tax regime. He knows it, we know it, and Canadians know it. When will this Prime Minister lift his gag order on the Parliamentary Budget Officer and release his report?
The Honourable Leader of the Government in the House of Commons.
Mr. Speaker, on Friday, surprise of surprises, that very member from Carleton Trail, Eagle Creek, informed, I'm sure for the first time, her own caucus colleagues, but indeed the entire House of Commons, that she picks and chooses which parts of the Conservative platform she runs on. This whole party, we know, ran on a price on pollution in the last election, but this member stood up and told us that she really didn't. So maybe she could tell us right now which parts of the Conservative platform she doesn't approve of today.
The honourable member from Foothills.
Canadians are not buying what this Prime Minister is selling because they know the carbon tax is not worth the cost. Canadians can't put gas in their car, food on their table. They know the real pain of the carbon tax. So does the Parliamentary Budget Officer, who confirmed that the Liberals have an economic analysis of the carbon tax that shows the real pain of that tax, but they refuse to release it. I wonder why. Maybe because it confirms what Conservatives and Canadians have been saying all along, that the carbon tax isn't worth the cost. Will the Prime Minister unmuzzle his budget watchdog, table the report, and admit to Canadians that the carbon tax is all pain, no gain?
The Honourable Minister of Finance and Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the people who I sincerely believe need to be unmuzzled are the Conservative MPs. I think that it is time for Canadians to know which Conservative MPs believe a woman's right to choose should be ended in Canada. And it is definitely time for Canadians to know whether Conservative MPs believe in tax fairness or whether they believe in tax breaks for their wealthy friends. Tomorrow, we'll find out.
The honourable member from Foothills.
I can see why the Liberals don't want to answer this question. The Prime Minister tried to sell this fairy tale that Canadians are better off paying the carbon tax to Canadian mayors last week. He got booed off the stage.
I know, I have a clip coming on.
Big city mayors know that the carbon tax isn't worth the cost. It fuels homelessness and food insecurity. Food banks are saying visits are up 50% and they can't even keep up with demand. There's a secret Liberal report that understands or shows that the Liberal carbon tax is not worth the cost. Will the Prime Minister table that report, end the carbon tax cover-up, and admit to Canadians that the carbon tax is all pain, no gain?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, the Conservative leader is fond of making inflammatory statements. He called early learning and childcare a slush fund. He called co-op housing Soviet-style housing, and he called brave Ukraine dismissively a faraway land. But he is silent on one issue, and that is tax fairness. Tomorrow, he's not going to be able to dither anymore. Every single conservative is going to have to take a stand. We'll see what they really believe.
Hear, hear.